When I met Travis, I started to feel a little bit like I could be like a person who could have romantic whims and have these dreams. And the song Wish List is like that chorus, like you were just talking about the verses, which were so fun and funny to write, but it gets very sincere in the chorus. I don't know if you've seen the movie Happy Gilmore, but he has this happy place, like where he goes into this utopia of this is exactly what he would want. And this is where he escapes to mentally in times of stress, pressure, anxiety, or chaos. And that chorus of that song is me just describing what my happy place is.
You know, you've made so many people happy, Taylor, with the release of this record.
The fans are unbelievable. I don't even know how to thank them for what they've done this week and for how much they've loved this music and how they've just like immediately gotten it. You know,
how are you absorbing the reaction these days? How do you choose to process? The math is one thing, and that just goes on around us in life now. But then the real human interaction is what I know that you really still tap into. And when you have an album that's this big with so many people pouring their energy and being so invested in it, how do you absorb all of that in the days that follow? Because we're talking for real a few days after the album came out.
Yeah, I mean, I welcome the chaos. The rule of show business is if it's the first week of my album release and you are saying either my name or my album title, you're helping. And art, I have a lot of respect for people's subjective opinions on art. I'm not the art police. It's like everybody is allowed to feel exactly how they want. And what our goal is as entertainers is to be a mirror. Oftentimes an album is a really, really wild way to look at yourself, right? What you're going through in your life is going to affect whether you relate to the music that I'm putting out at any given moment. And what I often love seeing my fans say is, I used to be someone who didn't like relate to Reputation. And now that I've been through some other things in my life, that's my favorite album. Or I used to be a like fearless girly. Now I'm obsessed with Evermore. And we're doing this thing for keeps. Like, I have such an eye on legacy when I'm making my music. I know what I made. I know I adore it. And I know that, like, on the theme of what the showgirl is, all of this is part of it.
It's ordered chaos, though, Taylor, because I'm looking at the album cover right now, which you revealed in the video that you directed, which was already there and already waiting, and we were trying to figure out what this all meant, and then it all makes sense in time that moves forward. And so, you know, it must have been really wonderful to release that video and know that it answered a lot of questions for fans and also raised a lot of questions because, as always, 87 on the door, what's going on over there, all these kind of really cool things. To direct that and storyboard that must have been a blast.
Oh, it really was. I had a list of just, I think it was like over 100 Easter eggs to put into that video. And I was just going through my list and checking them off one by one as we were going through our production design process. And it's a blast because the fans have made it a blast because they know that this all points to, you know, current art, past art, or future art. That's pretty much the realm of the Easter egg thing. So the fact that they care that much about the sort of canon of albums that I've made or plans I may have in the future, it's like I just am very honored by it, and it seems like they're still having fun with it. Like as long as this is something that's fun for them, it's going to be fun for me to plan.
Tell me about this guy named Travis Kelce. And she goes, oh my God, he's the nicest guy. And you know what? He really loves his mom. I went, ding, 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 ding. And I said, now how in the world am I going to get her to meet him or whatever?
I'd been very non-athlete because I'm not one. And I've always just been like, well, what would we talk about? And so you call me up like with this tone of like, hey, so I know you're going to not react well to this, but there's a guy.
He's really cute.
You said something to the effect of like, you got to start doing something different.
Listen, it was so earnest. I thought it was the sweetest thing in the world that he came to your show.
Yeah.
He brought you something from your world.
Yeah.
To me, that really said a lot. So
yeah,
I thought that was really sweet and I liked it.
You know, on our first date, he literally had to explain football as if it were like violent chess, which helps me kind of understand it, like high speed, angry chess. And then I just sort of became obsessed with him and therefore became obsessed with learning about football. Yeah. Greatest surprise of
What has Travis brought to the tour? Well, first of all, he brought himself onto the stage on this tour, which was one of the funnier moments I can ever remember.
How do I put this? Travis is like, he's a real yes guy, like in terms of life itself.
Do you want to be center in the middle, in the front of it, or behind it? Where
You're taking me.
Boom.
Whichever you want me to do.
He's just up for anything. And when I wrote the skit for I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, where I had this very dramatic idea where I want to be a soldier on a battlefield and I'm fatally wounded and I die on the stage while singing. And then we have this very sort of like cabaret, dramatic vaudeville kind of skit where I have to perk up immediately to perform. I was like, oh, that's exactly the kind of drama I'm trying to put forth here on this tour. But I remember thinking about the skit and always just being like, if there was ever a point to put Travis in the show, I think this would be the one. But I obviously am like never going to suggest that because that's like, you don't want to scare people, you know?
Yeah, like she has to be head on the left side.
Yes.
I can't remember how it came up. I think we were just joking around about like him doing it, like him going up there with Cam. And it became very clear that he like wasn't joking. And I was like, oh wait, no, you would do that?
Yes. It's easier then. Yeah. And then we can run.
And he was like, yeah, it would be hilarious.
Come on, wake up. Wake up.
I was like, if you're serious about this, I will send your measurements to wardrobe and they'll get you a tux. Like, are you serious? And he's like, put me in. Like, I'm in. The way that he just comes to life when the lights are the brightest. People talk about that all the time with him. They're like, the moment's never too big for Travis. The lights are never too bright for Travis. Like, I think that's as a player, he can like slow down time in the most stressful moments. And that's exactly what we saw on stage. He got out there and was the most charming, delightful performer you could ever be on the stage with. Like his instincts, he's just so magically entertaining.
He really is one of the happiest people I think I've ever met, which I adore. He just brought a lot of happiness, which is I think what he does in a lot of his circles. He brings a lot of happiness to the room. And that particular night, he brought a lot of happiness to a lot of fans. It was hilarious.
I can safely say that was the loudest it ever got on the Eras Tour.
Just days after opening up about her emotional journey, Taylor Swift quietly revealed something deeply personal to her mom, Andrea, and it changes everything fans thought they knew about her future with Travis Kelce. Behind the scenes, Taylor admitted that meeting Travis didn't just bring happiness. It made her believe in a kind of love she once kept at a distance, a love where dreams like marriage suddenly felt real and possible. As she described her happy place mindset shaped by peace, stability, and emotional safety. Those close to her noticed a shift, one that points toward wanting something more permanent and sooner rather than later. What makes this even more meaningful is how Travis fits perfectly into that vision, bringing constant support, joy, and a sense of calm into her life during one of the busiest eras of her career. While fans celebrate her music and success, this private conversation hints at a bigger chapter forming quietly in the background. And if this momentum continues, the timeline everyone expected might not be the one that actually unfolds.